Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, guys. I didn't time that perfectly, but I am joined by the one and only Miss Shari Yetto. Shari, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing awesome, and thank you. Glad to be back.
Well, if you guys don't know, if this is the first time you've seen Shari's show, she's the owner of Charlotte's Mystical Web, and that's in Jackson, Tennessee. And Shari, can you tell us about that, please?
Well, it's a metaphysical store. I carry a little bit of something for everybody. I consider myself, a spiritual person. So, there's a lot of things that go into that. So I have candles and herbs and incense and essential oils. I make all natural products. I make statues. So there's just a little bit of everything, jewelry.
2 books.
2 books, and just about done with getting that third one put together.
Nice. Tell us about the first 2 and where we can get them.
The first one is actually something that I've always told people, they actually need to start with it. I wrote it for people that either have never had an actual teacher. They've either learned from books or internet. It teaches kind of, what to look out for, but it also teaches you a lot of other stuff too. The second one, the first one's called Wicker for the Wise Witch, according to Lady Starfire. The second one is Things Pagans Should Know, and they're both according to Lady Starfire, which is my public witch's name. And the second one it goes a little further into things like pantheons and, stuff like that. It also has every chant song that I could find of pagan stuff. So, and then the third one that I'm, putting together is actually my year-to-day classes that I teach, and I'm putting it into book form.
You said that was easy to write because this is what you teach.
Right. And I already have all the information. So I just had to take my notes and kind of add into it for, what I usually say when I'm teaching classes. So
how long have you been in business?
I actually started Charlotte's Mystical Web as a mail order in 1989. And but I've had my retail location here in Jackson since June 1st, 2001. So 21 years this year.
Wow. How much do you love to be your own boss?
I love it a lot.
I bet. I've been knowing you from the time that I have. That's a huge thing.
Yeah. I've worked for other people, and I even did that, while I had my store. But I like being able to be the one to make the choices.
Got you. And I if people have not heard your show before, growing up in the Bible Belt, which I know I was in it. Bowling Green, Kentucky was in it, but it goes all the way down to Mississippi, right? It's not a real thing, but it's just what they call,
right.
Once you get down south, kind of, where does it start? Maybe in Ohio.
Well, I call us the buckle of the Bible
Belt. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just what it's always been called. This area, it's just that part that's kind of in between the North and the Deep South is, they call it the Bible Belt.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
I guess because there's a church on just about every corner. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful place.
It is.
Really. Were you born in Tennessee?
No, I was actually born in Southeast Missouri, but I was raised in South Texas.
South Texas. Now, what's I've never. Well, I think I did a couple shows.
The Houston, Galveston area is actually what I call home.
Oh, okay.
But I've been in Tennessee since '84.
All right, and that's where the store is, and that's where your clients and everything. Yeah. Okay, so I love that Alice is prepped to run the store.
Yep, she does a great job. She's up there right now while I'm in here.
Okay, yeah. So how did you get all the information into Alice? I mean, was she inquisitive like you, because you wanted to know everything?
Oh yeah, she got to where she was kind of like attached to my side a lot. And she was curious, and so she would stand beside me or kind of back a little bit depending on who I was talking to, and listen, you know and as I was talking to customers. Now if it was somebody that wanted more privacy, she would back off, because there is those situations.
Right.
But she would listen to the questions people asked, and then the way that I would answer them, or the way her daddy would answer them, when he was up here and stuff. So it's just one of those things that, she picked up on it. And then, over time she's learned. And as she, is waiting on customers, if she's unsure about something, she comes and gets me. And so, or she, and she looks up stones and things, for, somebody wants a certain type, stone for a purpose. She'll look it up, see what's what and things. And she just, people love her. She's great. She gets real embarrassed when I do this, by the way.
Oh, really? All right. Sorry. Okay. All right. But does she have the creativity that you do? I mean, does she put stuff together and kind of think outside the box like you do?
She's actually a very good artist when she, wants to draw and stuff. But, she's constantly rearranging the showcases and different things. And, just
where did she get that from?
I can't imagine. She picked up my OCD and
OCD, you call it. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Some people call creativity the OCD.
Yeah. Well, my husband calls it CDO. Says I even have to have the letters in order.
That's so great.
Yeah, she makes sure that everything up front stays looking, beautiful. So.
Got you. Okay. I know that there's a lot of people, and you really I think it's important to answer people when they ask questions, because that's pretty much what you do all day, right? People come in the store and they say, from beginner to expert, you're always answering questions.
Right. What do I need for this? Or I have this problem. So, I mean, that's, I can sit here and talk about different things all day, but it may not be what somebody really needs to know an answer to. So.
Understood. So why not? I mean, Mr. Producer, what you got going on there, buddy?
We have Natasha in New Hampshire, and she wants to know, is it important for people to follow their own beliefs as early as possible in life?
Yes. That's one of the problems I have with a lot of organized religion is, why do you go to this particular church? Well, because my parents did, my grandparents did, and it just, keeps going back. Okay, so what do you want? What do you actually believe? Have you asked questions? Have you questioned authority? Have you researched to know what's actually right for you? So, yeah, I think, I don't think anybody should push anybody into any particular religion, denomination, whatever. They should have the choice to actually, explore things and see what feels right to them.
Gotcha. And I guess my question from there is, how do you know that the information you're getting from a book or from a speaker, is it the intuition that confirms it? How do you know that that's something that is truthful? Yeah. No other words than that.
Yeah, it's called research. It's like I tell people too, your head will lie to you, your heart will lie to you, your gut never does.
Okay.
So when you're listening and it just doesn't quite feel right, or even if you think it feels right, go research it. I'm a firm believer in question authority. It's like I tell my students when I'm teaching, don't just take my word for what I'm telling you, that it's the total facts. I might tell you something that's not exactly true just to see if you go research it and come back to me.
Oh, so you'll test people?
Yes, I will. Because I don't want them to go, well, Shari said it, so therefore it's, that's it. Even though people know I don't lie to them. But in a teaching situation, I'm going to test you. I want you to go look it up. Plus, there's more resources now than what there was back in the 80s. When I started all this. Uh-huh. And so, you might find some new exploration that is taking place. And I want to know that information. So always research.
You might not know this, and I don't know why I thought of it, but I'd like to ask you, someone who always, you know, you ask questions,
Mhm.
A to Z, are there spells in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament? Are there spells in there? I know they're prayers, of course, the prayers.
But a prayer is a spell.
That's what I want you to talk about.
They are one and the same.
Tell me.
Well, and people that follow the Bible don't want to hear that, but it is the same thing. Okay. Anytime you're asking for something, no matter if you're on your knees with your hands folded, if you're lighting a candle, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. All right. I happen to know, Catholics burn 7-day prayer candles. Well, guess what? So do we.
Right.
I mean, it's a focal point for what you're asking for. The 7-day prayer candle, the reason they call it that is because you put your prayer into that, okay, or whatever you're asking for. You light it. It's going to burn, as a general rule, 5 to 7 days. It's the same principle as if you knelt down for 24 hours a day for 7 straight days. Well, humanly, we can't do that. We've got to eat, we got to sleep, we got to go to the bathroom. We got to do all these things, right? So that candle takes the place of that.
I see.
So, I mean, that's all it is.
Right. I asked you because, people don't look at it that way. I mean,
No.
they're so indoctrinated into thinking, because, we're told to sit in this, we're told to kneel, we're told to stand, sit, kneel. It's like some kind of weird square dance, but yeah. So I figured I'd ask you that, but
sure.
What are, for someone who was brought up in deep in a religion, what are some things that they can do to research and to ask the questions without offending these people that are one way? It's just, this is the only way it can be. Do you feel for those people?
I do, because the thing
You were one of them.
I was brought up Southern Baptist.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, it's one of those things that, in my personal opinion, if a preacher or someone else within a church or whatever is offended or accuses you of blasphemy or whatever, because you question, either what they've interpreted or how you're interpreting something, in a Bible or, in a teaching or, whatever it is, to me, they're not a good leader, because, that to me, that just means, hey, I don't, no, you can't question. You just have to accept what I say.
Yeah. Well, I know more than you.
Right. Well, that's what caused a whole bunch of, people to drink poison Kool-Aid.
Yes.
By following a person and only doing what they say. Just go research. I mean, you've got the internet now. You don't have to go to the library and read books. Research. Go to different people's churches. Go to different denominations. Go to different things and learn. That's the only way you're going to know for sure what's actually right for you.
Great point. Yeah, great way to put it. Mr. Producer, let's do some questions here for Shari Yetto. And Shari, how do people get a hold of you before we do questions?
You're welcome to call me at my store. It's 731-265-4269. You can email me, and the easy way is I'll give you my personal email, which is Shari B. Yetto, and that's SHARI, B as in boy, Yetto, YETTO @yahoo.com. You can go find me on Facebook, Charlotte's Mystical Web, on Facebook. Send me a message in the messenger. Don't post it on the page. Keep things private.
Right.
So, and I'll respond to you.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I make you keep doing that. It's just,
it
keeps
fine.
people coming in. We got to,
exactly.
It's monotonous, but all right, Mr. Producer, what you got, man?
All right. So we have Marie here on Long Island. She wants to know, do you have any advice for people trying to turn their passion into a business?
Oh, yes. First of all, research. Check and see, how many people in your area are doing whatever that is. Make sure that you know what kind of permits and license or whatever that you're going to have, depending on the type of business. Be sure that you have the funds available. You know, it can take you a year, 2, 3, depending on what the business is, to necessarily become profitable. You might be profitable right off. It just, once again, depends on the business and how saturated, either your area is, or if you're doing an internet, you've got to try to get your name out there. So, I mean, main thing is do a lot of research, have a good business plan, make sure that you have enough money to, pay your bills. Your location, if you're going to get a retail location, is very important. So those are some of the key things that I would say are the main things to do.
All right.
Start small and build.
From a true entrepreneur. So it's good. Good question. All right. What do you got?
Carol in Washington, D.C. wants to know, what is your opinion on superstitions? Do you think they're all in our head?
Ooh, good one.
There are some that I think, maybe somebody just said and it carried on. There are some that I believe in. There was one that someone had told me one time, and I was like, I don't have time to worry about that. And yeah, well, I should have listened. And so, and I still remember that one to this day, because I was just like, whatever. And, maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, but I don't really believe in coincidence. I was taking a trip, realized I forgot something, turned around, went back to the house. And it was actually my mother-in-law at the time. And she was like, you have to sit down and raise your feet up off the floor and count to 30 before you leave. I don't have time for that. I got to get on the road, and it's either that or go a different direction. Well, there wasn't a different direction for me to go either. So I went on. Well, I ended up getting stopped and got a ticket.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm pretty adamant about that one. And see, the thing is, and I probably had done that a million times. Nothing ever happened as far as I know. But even if it did, I wouldn't have known to put it with that because I didn't know it. So it's like, once I know it, it's like, okay, it's out there. So now,
yeah.
Now, like the walking under a ladder, to me, I don't know that that's so much bad luck, is dangerous. That something could fall on your head.
Of course.
The black cat thing, I consider black cats, good luck. It's only bad luck for the cat if it runs out in front of you and gets run over. So,
right.
That's just,
How about something like knocking on wood?
I do that, but I do it right here. But I mean, that has to do with the wood spirits.
Oh, tell me about that. I never heard this.
That's actually the reason knocking on the wood is because, all right, so you're saying something, knock on wood, and you're just asking the wood spirits to kind of take care of that. That's really what that is.
Okay. All right. And what about look, I'm guilty. I am so careful around mirrors. Is there any truth to that? The 7-year bad luck?
Well, that actually came from when mirror material was super, super expensive. And so to break one, I'm trying to remember, because I actually had looked that one up. It had something to do with the amount of time that it took to save up to even get a mirror. So yeah, so I mean, it cost so much that to break one was bad luck, because that was a lot of money not wasted.
Wow, that's interesting to go to that. Hey, what do you got there, Mr. Producer? We got time for another one?
Yeah, we have Pat and Raleigh. Similar to what you just said, Casey. Are mirrors windows into the spirit world?
They can be portals, yes.
You told us about that thing where it's surrounded by mirrors, so you can't get in.
Right. That's a mirror box. That's a protection box. Okay. But a mirror hanging like on a wall, especially if it's an outside wall, can be a portal. You need to always make sure that you haven't closed off.
How do you do that?
You can different ways. I usually, take some, charge like sandalwood sea salt water or something and draw, a vanishing pentagram on it. And, that way nothing can come through it, because that helps, that keeps it pushed out.
So you're saying that there are like spirits or energy that can come through the
Mhm.
mirrors?
Yeah, they can.
What else? Is it just mirrors?
Well, I mean, spirits can come through walls or anything else, but anything that can create a portal effect, that mirror can create an effect coming in from another dimension.
Wow.
Yeah.
So interesting. All right. What else you got, man? Good question, whoever that was.
And then we have Bill in Houston wants to know, can spirits become angry if they have unfinished business on Earth?
Yes. And a lot of times those are the ones that cause problems and that where people think they have demons or something around, which sometimes it is demons, but a spirit that is angry, maybe they were murdered or something, that a lot of times they hang out. And I mean, it's kind of like, I'm sure most people have seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and how there were certain ones that were angry. I mean, that does happen. They get stuck here, because of, like I said, being murdered or something like that. And then, you have other ones that stay here so they can look after their loved ones to make sure that they're okay. And they're not necessarily angry. They just hang out and they're okay.
But should we pray, wish, want them to move on?
That's actually the nicest thing to do, for spirits, so that they can, be reincarnated. If they're stuck here, I usually tell people, if you have one stuck at your house or on your property, light a white candle, and tell them that it's okay, that they can go, through and, find that light and, move on to the next realm.
What are they, scared or something?
Some of them are scared. Some of them don't want to go. Some of them feel stuck, for some reason.
So interesting. All right. Can we do one? Yeah. One more. Okay, cool.
And Dylan in Virginia wants to know, would more people with different beliefs get along if they just respected each other?
Yes. Everybody simply said, you know what, it's like I've said, I think on every one of these, if it feels right to you, then it's right for you. Just because it's wrong for me doesn't make it wrong. It's only wrong for me, and vice versa. So, live and let live. If you're not hurting anybody, just leave people alone. If people want to go to a Baptist church, go to the Baptist church. Don't say that everybody else is wrong. Same thing with whatever other religion. I'm not picking on them, but whatever it is, just go, okay, if people are pagan, let us be pagan. We're not hurting you.
Right. As long as you're not going to hurt anybody else.
Exactly.
Power to you.
I'm not out there trying to recruit your kids. It's just, people are people. It doesn't matter. It's like, if you're gay, straight, black, white, whatever, it doesn't matter. People are just people.
Yeah.
Let people live.
And I think that's the best way to end our show here today. Shari Yetto, I love what you have to say. I love what you do. Can you just give people some more information, how they get in hold of you?
All right. Well, once again, you can call me at 731-265-4269. I'm here from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, Central Time. Find me on Facebook under, Charlotte's Mystical Web, and feel free to send me a message. You can find my email through all of that and everything too. And anyway, I'm here.
And when can we expect the third book?
It's still going to take a little bit to get through the printing process, probably a month.
Awesome. Shari, you're awesome in my book, and I thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who wrote in, and we'll be right back.
Hopefully I'll see you again.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.